You don't choose your family. They are God's gift to you as you are to them. Desmond Tutu. And family is not an important thing, it's everything. Michael J. Fox. Hi, my name is Jazlynn, and I'm doing my biography about my great-grandpa, Daryl Edgecomb. Daryl was born November 1st, 1932 in Pipestone, Minnesota. He was born with brown hair and blue eyes. His parents were Delbert John Edgecomb and Helen Martha Stolte. His grandparents were Albert Edgecomb, Gertie Baird Edgecomb, Frederick W. Stolte, and Anna Margaret Stolte. Daryl was the oldest of three boys. His brothers' names were Darwin and Merlin. Darwin's mom worked at a hatchery and his dad was a truck driver. His home life wasn't very good because his dad was an alcoholic and his mom was a hard woman who admitted that she shouldn't have had kids. Daryl and his family lived on the north end of Pipestone in a house with no inside bathroom, no plumbing, and no water. Daryl walked to school because he had 2 paper routes on the way. He delivered papers, walked to school, walked home from school, and then delivered his other route of paper.
Let's stir it up, boys.
Daryl started school when he was about 5 or 6 years old, but he only went to school until he was about 12 years old. His favorite subject was probably math because he was really good at it. Daryl got his social security number and his first real job when he was 12. But he quit school and went to go work for Commerce Produce, putting egg crates together. One story that we were told was of when Daryl was 4 or 5 years old and his family dropped him off at the fair. When Daryl went home, everything was gone except for a bowl of clones on the stove. His family had moved away while he was at the fair. Daryl put the plums in his pocket and went back to the fair and waited for someone to come and pick him up.
No more looking. I know I've been tooken. How's about keeping steady company?
Daryl was 16 years old when his parents got divorced. He went to live with his dad for a while after the divorce. Both his parents got remarried in 1952. Delbert married Beatrice Maud Belford and Helen married Daryl wanted to go into the army when he was 18, but he failed the physical. He had a lump on the back of his neck, probably because his uncle used to karate chop him in the back of his neck a lot. Growing up, Daryl pretty much worked all the time, and he was a very sensitive character. Daryl met Ava when she was working as a waitress. He liked her right away, but it took a long time for him to get up the courage to ask her out. For dates, they would usually hang out on Main Street. Daryl and Ava married on July 10, 1955. Their wedding colors were navy blue and gray. Ava wore her graduation suit. For their honeymoon, they went to make choke cherry jelly at Ava's sister and brother-in-law Carol and Howard's house. Daryl and Ava lived in Sioux Falls for 1 year right after they married. They lived in Montevideo for 15 months in a small trailer house that they bought for $1,000. After the third child was born, the 2-bedroom, 8 by 33-foot trailer was too small. They bought a house that was falling apart in Marion, South Dakota. They fixed up their home for 10 years before moving to Burlington, Minnesota in August of 1972. Daryl and Ava had 3 daughters, Deborah, Pamela, and Michelle. Daryl worked at Keeler Tire doing retreading, Johnny Hager Produce, and Canvas Soup as a poultry buyer. He also worked as a coast-to-coast truck driver and as a warehouse attendant. He liked his job as a warehouse attendant at Canvas Soup the best because he was pretty much his own boss. Daryl was a very hard worker and was a very loving husband, father, and grandfather. One thing that he would like to pass down to his family would be getting together for Christmas every year. Daryl enjoyed camping and fishing. When his kids were younger, they would rent a pop-up camper and go out to the Black Hills.
I'm free and I'm ready. Can go steady.
The things that made Daryl feel happy and proud was his family. His greatest accomplishments would be his wife and family. The best days of his life would be the day he met and married Ava. The worst day of his life would be the day that their firstborn son was stillborn, which means he died in the womb. People would probably be most surprised about how well Daryl turned out, considering how terrible his childhood was. The only thing that he would have done differently would be finishing school. Daryl Edgecomb died at age 77 on May 19, 2010 at Stanford Hospital in Sioux Falls from pancreas cancer. My great-grandpa was and will always be one of the best people I will ever know. There are a few things that I will always remember about my grandpa. Like whenever we went to their house, he was always waiting for us to give him a hug. Probably one of the things that I will remember most is that we never called him Grandpa Edgecomb. We always called him Grandpa Wink because he taught us all how to wink. One time he asked me if I could wink with one eye and then switch to wink with the other eye, then go back and forth winking with each eye. When I tried, he started laughing, and I started laughing. I was never really good at winking, but it was fun. Daryl loved hummingbirds and hibiscus flowers. When I heard that my grandpa died, it was really hard for me. I think it was one of the most emotional moments in my life. I didn't want to believe it. I still can't believe it sometimes. How could this happen? Why did this happen to such a good man? Sometimes when I think about all the good times that I had with my grandpa, I get really sad. He was a big part of my life, and he will always be. But at least I know that he's in a better place now, and I'll see him again someday. Family is a risky venture because the greater the love, the greater the loss. That's the trade-off, but I'll take it all. Brad Pitt.